Hello, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, President of Forge Wealth Management, and welcome to our Women in Wealth series. Today, we have a new friend with us. And Morreen, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
Sure. So, hi, Regina. My name is Morreen Rukin. I am the president and founder of Combined Resource Solutions and Creative Restaurant Solutions. And we are an HR consulting firm that does employee-facing surveys to help organizations hear from their employees what's on their minds and in their hearts, so that they can create better cultures, environments, relationships, and they can elevate that employment experience. And then I also do leadership coaching and leadership facilitation of topics to help the leadership level be the best version of themselves. Because when they show up to work and they're happy with themselves and they're comfortable, they tend to create cultures and environments where people want to stay, they want to be engaged, and they thrive.
That's fantastic.
So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. And what do I love most about what I do? I have an amazing team of 13 individuals that are just so passionate about what they do and about gathering the best information for our client partners. So that makes work a lot of fun. It sometimes doesn't feel like work. And I also love working with leaders and leadership teams, helping them find their groove, helping them find their way, and helping them find that best version of themselves that I mentioned. Because when you can see those light bulbs go off and you can see the progress in someone you're coaching, it just makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, absolutely. When you get that kind of feedback, it's got to motivate you to do even more, go to the next person and help them.
It really does. And what's even better is it motivates them to go to the next person and pay it forward. And, if we can all lift one another up more than being threatened or fear of competition, I just think work could be more enjoyable and more people would be more engaged and be happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think you like when you feel engaged at work or at home or anywhere, really, you put your best foot forward, your output, your energy, everything's a little bit more positive, I think, when you feel that engagement.
And you're right. And you tapped on something that's so important. It doesn't just impact your work persona, it impacts your whole persona. And I think we all would agree that the world could use a bit of kindness right now. And so to see that impact in all areas of someone's life, it just really just brings a lot of joy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know you've been in the industry for quite a while. Tell us about what types of clients are like the type of client that you can help the most, what if you have niche areas where you seem to work better than others, or what you just enjoy more.
Okay. So yes, this year we're celebrating 26 years in business with the first brand, which is Creative Restaurant Solutions. I came from a background in hospitality, so it just naturally and organically grew there. And then 18 years ago, started the second company, Combined Resource Solutions. So it has been quite some time. We work with companies that have multiple locations or departments or sites where, sometimes what happens when you have a corporate office and then you have multiple locations, the culture can get lost or the standards can be diminished as the further away you go from the corporate office. So an ideal client for us is somebody that does have these multiple sites or locations or departments where we can help them pinpoint where opportunities are in that employment experience. Most of our clients are about 2,500 employees or more. So we do work with some of the biggest brands in hospitality, Darden Restaurant Group, Bloomin' Brands, Texas Roadhouse, Raising Cane's. We're fortunate that these partners have been with us for many, many years, some of them 18 to 20 years at this point. And we find that if a client leaves one company and goes to another, then they tend to bring us along, which is great. We don't do a ton of marketing because a lot of our work does come from referrals or repeat clients going from one organization to another. So if an organization is feeling like they're not getting the results they want, or perhaps there's a challenge in the department where they're not getting results. We come in and we can conduct either an engagement survey or career experience surveys or leadership 360s, whatever it takes to pinpoint where are the opportunities for growth and opportunities for change, so that the organization can implement, and we help them with that. We help them figure out what to implement, change that will help them drive their business forward.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, if someone listening felt like, oh, I need to reach out to Morreen, how do they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn very easily, Morreen, which is, I know is spelled funny. It's Morreen. Rukin, Rukin. So they can certainly connect with me there. They can go to www.consultcrs.com and send in an information page from there. So those are probably the two easiest ways for them to get a hold of me.
That's great. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so they can go find out a little bit more by going on to the website or linking up with you in LinkedIn. I think it's always great to reach out to people on LinkedIn and just, get to know people and, see how you can help each other. So I think that's a fun way to do it.
And cool. You find out how you're connected. Like it's kind of like Kevin Bacon and the 6 degrees of separation, right?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It is funny how, it kind of really applies.
It totally applies. I love going on there when I've met someone. I'm like, how do we not know each other yet? Because we have 52 people in common. So there's a fun way to figure that out.
Yeah, absolutely. And just talking about that as far as like networking goes, some people utilize LinkedIn very well and others just are like, oh, there's another name, ratchet on my list. But, one of the things I like to do is when I connect with people is do something like connect with them for over coffee and get to know them a little bit a little bit better, so that you can really see if there's some synergy between you two and how you can help each other. So I think that's a great way to go as well.
I agree, because there's one thing to connect online, but then there's that 3D connection where you meet people in person, kind of like you and I. We got to meet in person, and it was, karma right from the get-go. So
absolutely. Yeah. And I loved it. So especially with everyone coming out of COVID brain and COVID, patterns and thoughts, like people are reconnecting with the world. I think it's a great time to reach out to some of those people that, if they watch this video and want to connect with you online or through LinkedIn or through your website. And if there is a connection there, meet for coffee. It doesn't hurt. Get to know someone. That's pretty fun.
It is a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have been, in the industry for many years. You've had your own business for a long time, which is a whole nother challenge, of course. But I'm wondering, what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a working woman?
Yeah, I mean, there have definitely been challenges along the way. I think that a lot of the challenges, if I'm going to focus specifically on being a woman and the challenges I face, because, there is the economy when that drops or COVID when it hits. But I think the ones that I face as a woman, a lot of them are self-driven or self-directed. So it might be walking into an event and feeling imposter syndrome, where you just lose your courage temporarily and think, oh my gosh, what did I do to deserve to be here? Or do I deserve to be here? So I think imposter syndrome sometimes when it sits on your shoulder and you just want to flick it off and tell it to buzz off. I think confidence, the industry that I'm in hospitality is predominantly male at the upper levels.
Okay.
So having to have that courage to stand up and speak out and be heard and respected versus being perceived as someone who's too pushy or bossy or, some of the stereotypes that really don't apply to men, or they don't get put on men, but they get put on us as women. And so really trying to overcome some of those and really just be authentically me, and I have to accept myself first before I can accept others to accept me. So I think sometimes my biggest challenges are me getting out of my own way and encouraging other women too, to just be comfortable with who they are, be accepting of who they are, so that they show up authentically.
Yeah, I like that. And imposter syndrome. Oh my goodness, we could have a whole seminar on imposter syndrome. But yeah, we definitely, and it's not just women who do that; men do it too. But I know imposter syndrome is something that we all have faced and deal with, and still deal with. I mean, I still run into it myself. I find myself doing that and thinking that way, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. I have over 25 years experience. I know what I'm doing. And so you have to fight with your own, imposter inside your head.
Literally, that's probably the biggest fight I do have is with myself in my head. No, there's no room for you here right now. I'm feeling pretty good about what I'm doing. So how about you take a back seat, okay?
Exactly. Take a break, buddy.
Yeah. The trunk might be where I send them. I don't know.
That's hysterical. That's hysterical.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's great info. Tell me about what your vision for retirement would be.
Well, I am approaching the next decade and have been giving a lot of thought to what that looks like. And my vision in the next couple of years, the survey side of my business is about 80% of my total revenue and bottom line. And it's something that I'm looking to sell at some point in the near future because I would love to focus on the coaching, the leadership development. And I've written a program recently called Create Your Legacy Through Your Living Eulogy. And
Ooh,
something that I really want to focus more on facilitating because I've seen the results that it has helped other people, both men and women, achieve in their life. And for me, it's just my passion.
mhm.
So retirement to me doesn't mean totally stopping work because I just don't know that I can do that. I have a lot of
Right.
energy, a lot of enthusiasm and passion for the things in my life. So retirement will be taking on coaching clients, facilitating this living eulogy session. And I also run our family foundation, which is run in memory of my father. And that philanthropic work brings me a lot of joy and a lot of gifts that get given to me in the way of I meet people who knew my father because I did not know him growing up so well. And I meet these people who knew him. So I don't want to give that up. I will continue to be the trustee there. And more volunteer work. I really get a lot of gratification from doing hands-on volunteer work, rolling up my
Yeah.
sleeves and working at a food bank. Or I've always wanted to try working for Habitat for Humanity, even though I don't handle a hammer so well or a drill so well. But I'm willing
Plenty to
to
do.
learn.
There's
Right?
plenty to do, right?
Yeah. So more volunteer work as well, and then travel. So when I
Us.
retire, there are places I'd like to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like the new reimagined retirement is different than our parents' retirement. Like the old fashioned is like, yeah, you're in a rocker chair on the front porch. Our nowadays people are more like they want to reimagine their lives, reimagine a new career, reimagine like doing some nonprofit work and things like that. So I'm hearing that more and more. But it's great to be able to sit there and decide what you want to do when
Yeah.
you want to do it since you have planned for it. It's not, oh, well, I have to do this. It's, I want to do this. And that's a very powerful statement to make.
Yeah, I have shifted my mindset to instead of I have to do something, but I get to do it. Right.
Yeah,
I intentionally
exactly.
get to think about my retirement in a way because I've been deliberate about saving for my retirement over the years. My parents ingrained it in me at the age of 21 to start saving for retirement. And
Right.
they, thank you, mom and dad.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we get to do more of what brings us joy and be comfortable with it versus our parents, you're right, they just stopped working.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't envision that for me. I'd be
Yeah,
more.
no. It's definitely changed. Everyone I talk to, and it's definitely a different outlook now than it was even 10 years ago. But more and more of my clients are saying similar things to you. I'm not really going to stop working. I'm going to do something different, something that excites me and it energizes me and also gives back. And it's a refreshing conversation for sure.
Yeah, the other thing I forgot to mention is I'm trying to write a book. And so
Good.
about transformations and turning points in your life. And I think that in order for me to have time to do that legitimately, it will be when I retire. So
Yeah.
that's also on the docket.
Very cool. Very cool. So I think our action items from today's session would be one, get rid of the imposter syndrome or put it in the back trunk, right?
Yeah.
Number one. Right. And then two would be, think about how do you reimagine your retirement versus what you're doing now? How do you reimagine it? And can you do what it needs to be done to be able to make that choice as to not do I have to, but what do I want to do?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Absolutely. Sometimes it
that would
requires,
be that. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. No, sometimes that just requires sitting still and sitting with where you're at and where you want to be and figuring out what fills that bucket for you when you're
Yeah.
done. So,
Right. Right. And everyone's going to think of it differently and approach it different. That's the beauty of it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Fun, fun,
You
fun. Well,
definitely do.
thank you so much for joining me today. This is, as always, a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you
And
so
we'll,
much.
yeah, and we'll look forward to listening to this when it gets posted. I'm Regina McCann Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management, and I am on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Forge Wealth. My website is forgewealth.com, and we are now on Instagram at Forge Wealth Management and LinkedIn, Regina McCann Hess. Go make it a great day.